is this one of our hosts and to say something for us. 我们请杨姓当属地方抗议来搞东印度来的家。
各位同亲，大家好，大家好。中外的事情，那一天副院长来洛杉矶的时候，我们社团40桌50桌，那我就说这个就像这个募款餐会最少我们要有10%，那就4桌5桌了。结果我们今天来有10几桌，真的不简单。谢谢大家的光临。这个很不简单的，我们一个台湾子弟啊，敢跳出来竞选这个加州的州长，这个是天大的事情。你知道加州是，据我知道全世界第6个经济体，非常大的一个州。美国总统要当选啊，不靠这个加州是不行的。所以说呢，今天啊，如果能够把我们这个江振辉推选上州长的话，我们台湾人在这块土地啊，压落空。我要告诉大家，这个募款，他们这个党啊，我知道，他说看我们就募款能力强不强。如果募款能力不强的话，有可能不被党提名。那我告诉大家，这个州长啊，你亏出很多钱，一对夫妻10万美金。所以呢，今天晚上如果你们这个带钞票带500、1000来，没关系，慢慢补记。真的很高兴今天看了这么多的乡亲在这里啊，真的很重要很重要。我真的非常期待，我们的第2代、第3代都可以就 follow 这个 John 来参与美国的这个政治活动，真的很重要。那我知道呢，在座很多人都有参加很多小型的募款的啦，但是没关系，我觉得我们这个一定要有机会啊，他积极多一点的把人结起来，那让大家觉得说我们台湾社团是这么强。最后我想我还对我们的李木通社长还有 Alan 田董事长都要讲话，我就不多讲，谢谢各位啊。
Now let's welcome Mr. Alan田to make a remark.
各位乡亲，大家晚安。我想我们实在都不需要介绍，因为我们跟 John 呢都是一路走来。我们从 John 在选 Stable Equalization， 从 John 在选 Controller， 从 John 现在在 Treasurer， 那当然理所当然的下一个目标就是我们的州长。我想这个也是大家期待的。诚如我们杨董事长讲的，我们的台湾子弟能够选上加州的州长，这是我们的光荣。其实我们大家来美国都是为了我们的小孩，我们也可以告诉我们的小孩 ，John 是我们的模范，我们的小孩将来都是会以 John 的这个州长跟他对我们美国的贡献为荣。所以在此，我真的是要请大家在还有这2年的路上，我们继续的帮助 John， 我们让 John 能够高票的当选我们的州长，好不好？谢谢。
Thank you, Mr. Alan Ten. Before I ask our main host Tommy to come on, Mr. Justin Yan say, 邀请大家喝啤酒，所以你们可以跟 waiters ask for 啤酒，可以无限量。
Honorable Treasurer 江倩，各位同乡大家好。 今天我们高兴我们来一起来支持我们自己的人江健来选州长。首先我要感谢大家来参加，然后我也要感谢我的 partner Jason Yan and other 10Jason 他的家人已经捐了10万块给家里。Last week, last Saturday, other 10他有另外一场募款餐会，他已经寄到募了10万块。谢谢你们。那I want to thank all the co-hosts. Andy, thank you, Andy. Jonathan Peter, Jonathan, thank you, Jonathan. Edward Lee, thank you, Nick Wu, thank you. 殷辉赖 ，thank you。松倩 ，thank you。Another co-host, Stephen Wang, he couldn't make it today, but his father is here. 七花，黄医师 ，thank you。And I also want to thank Daisy， 谢谢。Okay, I think I already thanked everybody. And I also want to thank all the volunteers. Okay, for your hard work make today's event possible. Thank you. John is an outstanding second generation of Taiwanese American. 他已经赢了3次的 statewide election, 3 times. You win 3 times statewide election. Twice as controller, recently as a treasurer of state. And you are going to win another one in 2018, right? As governor of California, why we want John to be governor? Remember during the budget crisis, during the Great Recession, California ran out of money, out of cash. So what do? You run out of cash. You go E4, right? But because of John, California avoided E4. You know? Remember, he issued the IOU. Remember the IOU? Yeah. When you don't have cash, you can issue IOU. I wish I can do the same, but state issue IOU. By doing that, but eventually all those IOU got paid. They all got paid. But by doing so, state avoid the default. That is significant. Can you imagine California go default? That would be a terrible thing, right? So the credit should go to our Jiang Chen, right? Another thing, Jiang always watch the spending, budget and spending very closely. He makes sure that there's no waste or abuse or fraud. So, 足强的，所以budget 国家足厉害所以这样say, a penny saved is a penny earned, right? A penny saved is a penny earned. that is what my father told me when I was a child. 讲一箍就是赚一箍啦。So we need Jiang Chen to be governor to watch spending, budget and spending. So we all want Jiang Chen to be governor, right? 咱若无法当选，咱无选那个，咱若好只要当选好无 ？OK， 你们江千努力干咩呢？江千，江千，江千，江千，江千，江千。Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming tonight. We have full house, and this is a moment we are waiting for. Let's welcome Jiang Chen on the stage.
Thank you, Lynn. Well, good evening. Thank you all very much from the very bottom of my heart. I am deeply appreciative of your support tonight. Let me begin by thanking the co-hosts for tonight's gathering. Let me thank Jackson and Julie. As alluded to, Jackson came in on the first day when we opened the committee a few weeks ago with a very large contribution and others. So I wanted to thank Jackson and Julie. Let's give a lot of round of applause for Jackson and Julie. As Alan alluded to, so Alan knows my family members. They go way back for some of the banks. Amy was actually part of that from a long time ago when I first ran for office back in 1998. And so Alan has always been there. So Alan, thank you very much for your long time support. Thank you very much. And then I wanted to thank Tom. The most important thing, so Tom actually, before I even announced that I was going to run for governor, said, hey, I want to help you. So he had contacted my finance director, Lisa. Lisa, if you want to wave and be acknowledged. And Tom said he wanted to do that, the first event for us. We were working out the schedule, so it wasn't the first. But Tom, I really appreciate, in these campaigns, we have to do about 20 of these every month. We have to raise about $1 million a month, right? And so you set a minimum of $50,000. And so the election is 2 years ago. And so you need leaders who will step up, who will volunteer, because it takes a lot of work to put together a successful fundraiser. So as I mentioned, I am very appreciative for all of you coming. For instance, Andy's been to 3 of my events in the last week, right? He was with me last night, he was at an event last week. So it's that type of effort. So thank you, Tom, but more importantly, Tom's son used to intern when I used to run the field operations for Senator Barbara Boxer. So thank you more importantly for having your son participate. As I pointed out, and as many of you know, my parents immigrated from this country, or to this country from Taiwan in the early 1950s. So when America started lifting the immigration restrictions against, for those who immigrated from Asian countries, my dad wanted to come to this country to get his PhD. And so I understand the sacrifices and the struggles of many of you who chose America as your second home to provide a new opportunity to live your dreams. And so it wasn't easy, especially it wasn't easy in the 1950s and the 1960s for my parents. So as you know, I am the oldest child of parents who came to Taiwan. And so that's sort of how I view myself. People will ask, how do you describe yourself? And I say I'm the oldest son of parents who came to this country separately, but who had a struggle, but who worked really hard. And America gave our family a terrific opportunity. So how do you go from one generation, immigrant child, to running for the second largest election in the United States of America, right? The president's the largest, and when you think about the votes cast and the economy that you represent, Governor of California is second. Some of you saw last week, it was disclosed that California's economy continues to grow, and we are now the world's 6th largest economy. So this is an economic powerhouse where we can accomplish extraordinary things if we do it correctly for all of our residents. And so I'm running for governor because I want to make sure the opportunities that were afforded to me are passed on to the next generation of Californians. I've been blessed with 6 godchildren, so my friends have blessed me with the opportunity to try to bring up their children in part with a strong faith, right? So it's not only a religious faith, it's about a faith in our humanity. What type of spirit, what type of emotions, what type of intellectual pursuits that they wish to achieve. And so I wanted to make sure that we retain the idea of California. California has a special idea that if you come here, special things can happen. And it gets harder and harder and harder. But when you have people who are willing to come together to work hard, you can accomplish truly remarkable things. And as Tom alluded to, I made a choice in 2009. In 2009, as Tom indicated, in the midst of our Great Recession, California almost defaulted on debt. And you think about the other places that defaulted on debt, you look at Puerto Rico today and their economy. You look at what percentage their pensions are funded, less than 10%. You look at the out-migration of that state. Tens of thousands of people are leaving Puerto Rico because they don't have good economic opportunities. Their state is in very bad financial shape, right? Their infrastructure is horrible. And the interest that they were paying for debt last year was 13%. Right? You can't, that's like the 1970s when we were paying double-digit inflation, double-digit interest rates, and you know the economy doesn't grow when you have double-digit inflation rates. Because I, along with my colleagues in Sacramento, made some very difficult decisions, it was painful. We have the number 6 world's largest economy today, right? It wasn't easy, but we went from 12th to number 6. But I want to make sure that we continue to grow and we get better, right? And I want to make sure that opportunity spreads to every single individual who is willing to work hard, who's willing to study hard, who's willing to make contributions to their fellow Californians in this state. So I'm running to make sure that we upgrade our education system because you can't change the world and people can't change their own individual lives unless they get access to a high-quality education. If you look at where we are today in California, the whole state, the highest performing region is in California, but it's in Northern California. It's Santa Clara, Menlo Park, San Jose. It is the top economic performing area in the United States of America. A lot of it's technology, a lot is the innovation, and obviously when you have great schools like Cal and Stanford and others, right, you create great promise and opportunity. Number 2 is San Francisco, and it continues to spread. Number 10 is San Luis Obispo. Oakland is number 39. But where we are today in Los Angeles, Long Beach, Glendale, this is the 77th highest performing area. Right? In fact, last year we fell 42 spots, over 40 spots in this area. And part of it is, it's not because the people aren't working hard. If you look at this room, you are part of what is required for success throughout the state of California. Because the Asian economies are not doing as strong, trade is not doing as strong in Southern California, so our economic performance, even though growing, is falling behind relative to other jurisdictions. And so I'm going to tap into this incredible diversity of talent, whether you're from Asia, whether you're from Europe, whether you're from Latin America, to make sure that we capture the opportunities in the 21st century. So it's education, it's business, it's making sure that we act responsibly with our budget. And then I want to end by making sure that all of our communities in our differences today, we witness it with our presidential election. You have people frustrated on the right, and you have people frustrated on the left, right? You have the Trump supporters, you have the Bernie supporters, they're mad at each other. We cannot be strong unless you have leadership, and it's just not just public sector leadership. It includes private sector leadership, where we bring people together, working together to create these opportunities. So I want to make sure that instead of what you witness in Washington, D.C., you're going to see something new out of Sacramento. And that's what I've always tried to do, right? Even though for a time my colleagues were mad at me, they understood that I was trying to bring us all together, because at the end of the day, when you try to fight for the future of California, people understand what you're doing. So again, none of this is possible. As I mentioned, the second generation is only successful because the first generation supported us. And so I want to make sure for all of you, I bring great honor to your sacrifices, to your selflessness, to what you do for the future. So thank you very much for this incredible opportunity, and I look forward to working with you to make sure California continues to grow and fulfills its promise for all of its individuals. Thank you very much.